Thank you for joining. My name is Cozy with NauNauSOS. NauNauSOS is a personal safety app that would allow you to send SOS message to up to 5 people, 5 pre-selected individuals during an emergency. And this message will contain up to 15-second video and your GPS location. That way your contacts know where you are, or how to look for you, or how to even send help to you. This space is, it got birthed from the idea that, okay, now is for emergencies. How about we discuss ways to avoid finding yourself in that emergency situation? So that's the whole genesis of having this space where we can share, learn and unlearn some of the safety rules we go by day in, day out. My co-host Anita is the CEO for Femme Fatale in Nigeria. Femme Fatale deals with security gadgets and resources, and they'll also provide the gadgets and then train you if you don't know how to use it. So that's Anita. Before I hand the mic to her so she can chime in and introduce herself, I was talking to a friend earlier today, and it made me happy when she said something to the effect of, as soon as I get in my car and I lock my car because of what I watched on Now, because of that 45-second rule she said. And I was like, oh, okay, so I don't mind if one person remembers what we talk about on the show, or remembers what we post on Now, or what we discuss. But reaching one person is an accomplishment. So I just have to share that because that made me happy. So Anita, I'm gonna hand the mic to you before we go into today's segment. Oh, I need to. 1 second, let me share the mic. While I do that, today's segment is going to be about safety in traffic. What do you do? How do you stay safe in traffic? Because we know busy cities like Lagos and Abuja. Well, I guess Abuja is not even considered busy. So let's do Lagos. You get stuck in traffic. So many different rules. I remember when I moved to Nigeria a few years ago, I remember my mom kept emphasizing that whatever you do, wherever you find yourself, as long as you're in traffic and you can't move, lock your doors, wind up your glass. Even if whether AC is working or not, shall have your glass up, because people can put their hand in your car and all of that. So I remember that stayed on my mind, and it was one hot, I think it was December, and my AC wasn't working, but I just remembered my mom's voice in my head, so I left my window open. But it's with the fear of, somebody might be able to enter my car, blah blah blah. By the time I got home, I was so dehydrated. In fact, I got ill that night because there was no air coming in my car. I felt sick. So I think, whatever it is we discussed today, common sense has to enter as well. Because I'm sure when my mom said make sure the window is up, she didn't say if you are dying, die in the car. I'm sure she said, have some sense, and if you have to wind down a little bit, you wind down. So some of my tips in staying safe in traffic would be, sorry, I'm trying to write Anita and I'm not sure what's going on. So, some of my tips would be, first and foremost, of course, don't drink and drive. It sounds like, common sense, but it really isn't. This is not to be sexist or anything, but more guys tend to do this than women, because they're like, I know what I'm doing. I can figure it out. I know where I'm going. It won't happen to me, blah, blah, blah. So that's one. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. We are all guilty of this. Like, you want to quickly send that message, or don't quickly send it. I almost got into an accident two weeks ago, I think, and I'm just glad that I didn't text and drive, because I can't. It was a split second, and I could imagine if I had grabbed my phone and I said, let me quickly send this, and not look up, I don't even know what would have happened. So don't text and drive. Pay attention to your environment, because you just don't know who is who around you. There are all these guys that are selling things in traffic. a lot of times you hear that they are not really selling it, they're just looking to rob people. So pay attention. Be a defensive driver. My dad will always say that. Be a defense. Like, you think for the person around you. Pretend that that person is not going to stop at that light, or that person is not going to think that, oh, that's a left lane and you have right of way. What else? Even as in your, if okay, some people will be like, oh, I don't have a car. If you don't have a car, that's fine. You can still be your defensive. You can still be your driver's defensive driver, if you will. So you can still caution it that, okay, that car is not stopping, no, da 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 da. And lastly, um, I think I've said it. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. So that's those are my own tips. I'm going to allow anybody else that wants to share. Oh, okay. I think Anita has the mic now, so I will. I would allow her speak. Anita.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm Anita, as Kosi has rightfully introduced, the owner of Femme Fatale Nigeria. We're into self-defense and security. We train you how to keep yourself safe, and we also teach you and provide the gadgets you could use to keep yourself safe. So basically, this space is our safe space, as I'll call it, where we do educate and create awareness to people so they could keep themselves safe. Sorry if that sounds cliche, but at this moment in time where the world is really crazy, a lot of people are doing a lot of crazy shit, and what I say in Nigeria, most especially, forces aren't the forces to be reckoned with right now. Everyone has to take their own safety and self defense into their hands. So this week we'll be talking about safety in traffic. Yeah, Kosi has already given her tips. So I would also just drop one or two. So first and foremost, I, as a self-defense enthusiast, I would never leave my car without having at least two items, two self-defense items, a pepper spray and Kubaton. Kubaton is used to break windows in cases where probably you get stuck or you've been kidnapped in a car or something, and and also a seatbelt cutter, because there could be situations where probably you had an accident and the only way to survive is to get out of the car, but because of the impact of the accident, your seatbelt gets stuck or it gets locked. So those are my top three self-defense items to have in a car. So first and foremost, I do not go anywhere without those three, and most especially if I'm the one driving, I do not go out without those three. Then secondly, it may sound really cliche, but try as much as possible to buckle up whenever you're in the car, whether you're in the back seat or you're at the front seat. Yeah, it sounds really odd to Nigerians to buckle up at the back seat. I don't do it every time, I won't lie, when I'm in the passenger seat. But as long as I'm in the front, I do use seatbelt, and especially if you have children at the back, please try to use seatbelts on them, because now we're talking safety. Safety is not just about kidnap. Your own personal safety too is important. So because there could be cases where you just have to abruptly press the brake, and in a situation where the brake is pressed too hard and the impact on the car was crazy, the bodies in that car could, if they are not with seat belts and the glass gets shattered, the impact from that braking could throw people out of the car. And in a case where your body is thrown out of a car, you don't know if there's an incoming vehicle or it's on a bridge or something. So in most cases, people are a lot safer when they have their seatbelts on, as to those who don't have their seatbelts on in what I say, accident occurrences. Now, secondly, as you said, don't text and drive. Everybody, including me, is guilty of this. But try as much as possible to keep your phones away while you drive, because it's reduces temptation. Yeah, it is really tempting. I won't lie to you. You'll be like, let me just change the song. But you and I know it's not just changing the song. From changing the song, you'll be like, I have a message from my bill. Let me check. And you check, and before you know it, you really get engrossed in the conversation. So the second tip is don't text and drive. I don't know how much we can overemphasize on that. Then also, if you are tired while driving, okay, first I'll give driver tips and I'll also give passenger tips. If you are driving, whenever you feel tired, try as my in. I'll give in relationship to being in Nigeria, we have hawkers everywhere, especially Lagos, where there's always traffic. So if you are feeling sleepy, you could just call one of these guys selling gums on the in the traffic and get chewing gum and just try to keep your body active, your facial muscles active. So at least it could chase away the sleep a little bit.
Yeah,
But
nice sometimes.
yeah, but if you are really drowsy or you feel so tired, I beg pack, even if it's on Third Mainland Bridge, have 7 minutes, pack and sleep that you want to sleep. Just make sure you lock your windows. Sleep that sleep you want to sleep. Because you're driving with one eye is really it's really not the thing at all times. It's really not the thing. Then another thing is that make sure the vehicle you are driving is roadworthy. There's something my dad taught me, because my daddy, when you talk about safety conscious people, like hey, there are some safety conscious people. So my dad taught me this, and it's a rule I use whenever I'm going out. Before you drive out, check your water level. Check if there's water in the radiator and the reserve tank. Then always check your battery head. Ensure your battery head is like tightened very well. If it's not tightened,
and the oil too.
Yeah, and the oil. So always check those before driving out. And oil, sometime probably every week, you could try checking the brake oil once in a while. But the oil, the water, the battery head, always check those every day before you go out, because it may sound like something that's I shouldn't do it. But has your radiator ever burst in the middle of the road when you're driving? Hey, don't pray for that to happen to you, because hey God, it is crazy. Or maybe your vehicle starts overheating when you're on the road. Oil and your engine knocks.
Yes.
Hey God. So those things, because probably, okay, let's just have a worst case scenario. You're in trying to escape from kidnappers or whoever the bad guys are, and you're driving, and the next thing, boom, the radiator blows, your car stops. Hey, what are you going to do in those kind of situations? So always try to always make sure your vehicle is roadworthy whenever you're going there. Then always try to ensure you have like this caution sign when driving. Always have this thing, FRS always sings, it always have fire extinguisher in your cab in case of overheating. Always do have hazard lights on. Hazard lights are those back, sorry, in the front. And so always turn it on in low lighting settings. You get, and then caution sign, that triangle. I don't know how we get abroad, but in Nigeria we know it's that triangle with like C in the middle. So try to get the ones that reflect light in cases, so that if your vehicle actually has to break, it breaks down or something, you could always put it and tell people, incoming people, that this vehicle, before you start speeding and try to overtake, and then once now something happens. Then another thing you should do is see music. And me, I personally, I love driving with music, but don't always put your music like so high you can't take note of what is happening around you. Because sometimes you get so engrossed in the music, you're like jamming and like singing along, having a karaoke in your car, and you don't know that they're robbing the cars beside you until Baba starts knocking on your door, hands on the dashboard, and give me your phone. Those kind of cases. So you could enjoy your music. Like just what I use is standard 15. I don't know how the audio system in other cars are, but 15 is a good one for me. Except I'm not the one driving now. In those kind of cases, I can now tune up to like 19, but 19's the max I use. So just try music on the level where you could still notice whatever is around.